Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner Classic Lesson Known Classics. This is episode number 1833 and episode number 1727. Got to do two DC trades. One that came out roughly. How long ago this book came out? 2015. And this is done by the same people who did All-Star Western. Jim Palmiotti and Justin Gray. We have stars. You have basically, it's called G.I. Zombie, a Star Spangled War Story. This collects the entire run that is Star Spangled War Stories. This is the second volume for the series. The entire 8-issue run, along with features and one shot. Like I said, written by Jim Palmiotti and Justin Gray. This is pretty much a. Here's the cover for it. Yes, seriously. Now, the artwork is quite interesting to say the least. The artwork is done by mostly Scott Hampton. He pretty much in the way does the entire artwork. The cover art, that's Darwin Cookie. Yep. The G.I. Zombie, of course, is created by. Now, this is the interior artwork for this book. I mean, it feels like, in a way, this artist worked on Swamp Thing at some point, because this looks like Swamp Thing artwork. So, the story is, we have this guy named Jared, who's a literal G.I. zombie, and you might be thinking, is he going to start doing a war story? That was a World War II comic book. Does he even do World War II? Nope. He's a zombie who works for the U.S. government. And he just also inadvertently starts a zombie breakout in a small town, which they take out no problem. There's not a whole heck of a lot happens in here. There's all those evil agency stuff. And it kind of wraps up basically kind of oddly, to say the least. They kind of have sort of an epilogue for this Futures End, which is, by the way, nothing to do with Futures End, just a 5-year time skip. A major weakness I see of this book, and reading this, there is no mention of the outside DC universe. Nothing. No Magic characters, no Justice League, nothing. Blackhawks at least had a mention of Superman, despite not having a physical appearance of Superman in the title. This one, no mentions, no appearances. It's almost like this book was meant to be a standalone book. Now, this book was actually launched just after I think it was launched just after All-Star West just wrapped up, and the book itself was probably canceled due to low sales. That was probably the reason for this. I think it was started back in basically trade would come out in 2015. Terror book, not necessarily per se. It just seems kind of odd though. You basically bring back the Star Spangled War Stories comic book, and you basically throw an original character in there, who, by the way, is a character that nobody's ever heard of. And I get the reason why the book was canceled. The book was canceled, believe it or not, due to low sales. Yes, seriously. That was the reason for the cancellation. This book was low sales. Now, is it a terrible book per se? No. It's just the big problem is basically it only had just the G.I. Zombie himself, basically the blonde woman who hangs out with him, and some random bad guys. It just doesn't feel like a regular DC book. It feels like a random book that Jim Palmiotti. Now, I'm sure Jim Palmiotti probably want to do more with the character. And here's the strange thing about this book. This guy here never appeared in any DC comic book ever again. Yes. Apparently, once this book wrapped up, like, aside from the Futures End one shot, there was it just seems like though, like I said, as soon as the series wrapped up, it's almost like DC just didn't have any real plans for the character at all. No, not really. It's a shame, really. Actually, this was the third volume because the previous volume was a one shot. Yeah, it was a one-shot release in 2010. Yeah, focus on Mademoiselle Marie. Mm-hmm. Now you're probably thinking, was this series meant to be taken seriously? Not really per se. It's just a book where you can feel as though like a lot of random stuff happens. That's the best way to describe this book per se. Okay, here we go. Yeah. They also have this character called Gravedigger, which was a character from, well, one of the people who took the name Gravedigger. He actually is a World War II era character. Oh, basically his real name was like Ulysses Hazard. That's one of many ways. Yeah, it's a legacy code name. Yeah, so it's almost like, what's the purpose of having G.I. Zombie if you're not gonna do anything with the character? Okay, so he did make other appearances aside from this book. He apparently popped up. Oh, okay, I kind of forgot because it's been a while since I've seen that, read the books. Apparently, he popped up a couple of issues like United during the final issues of the run. Apparently, because it's G.I. Zombie, so let's have him make a random appearance in this book. Yes. I kind of forgot he showed up in the book. Yep. But yeah, that was the most recent thing that he did. And that was like about 5 years ago. Yeah, and nothing else has been done with the character. I do mean nothing. Alright, next up is a book that actually is really good. We have 52 Aftermath, The Four Horsemen, written by Keith Giffen. Art by Pat O'Fley. Now, this book takes place right after 52. This mainly focuses on the DC Trinity. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Excuse me. This was actually a 6-issue miniseries. I think released in 2006, I think it was. Yep. Now, the thing about this particular title, an unfortunate circumstance about this title is it basically served as a backdoor pilot to a new volume for Doom Patrol at that point in time. Yep. A volume that lasted for 22 issues before getting canceled. I believe it started launch back in 2009, I think it was. This came out in 2006, believe it or not. Mostly focused on Ogle Island, where Veronica Cale was a ruler, and of course dealing with these full horsemen, Return to the DC Trinity. Basically, this is just after 52, and just after all these characters came back after being in hibernation for a year after the events of Infinite Crisis. This book is awesome, really good, and like I said, backdoor powered Doom Patrol, which Keith Giffen himself would write, which was really good. Sad part of that book is not all the issues are in trade. The first 14 issues are in trade, but the last 8 are not, because the last trade was supposed to come out, stop at 21, and the book was canceled due to low pre-order sales. Yep, that was mainly the reason for it. Yeah, but not much else to say about these two books. 52 Aftermath was a really good miniseries. G.I. Zombie is okay. It's not one of Jim Palmer's best work, but it's work of his that nobody talks about. People say we're Harley Quinn or Panic Killer Jane, but this book, no, not really per se. Nope, not really. But that's going to be pretty much it for Circle of You. Next is going to be one more Comic Corner, and that'll be pretty much it for tonight, okay? This video. Bye.